Okay, so now we'll,
Fire drill.
but you got it. I did.
It's like I know there's a post-it with it somewhere.
Oh, and you found the Post-it?
Yeah, because it's always, and this is what confuses me, that there's a different meaning.
The most organized people.
Just found the post, haven't you ever found the Post-it? So, we're good. Okay,
Yeah,
we're ready. All right, so Leanne will call the roll.
Let's see, Nick Gordon, not here. Jake Lujan,
Jake, are you still on?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yep, I'm here.
Elizabeth Donahue, here. Deanne's here, Kim Sargent,
Here.
Pam Scanlon.
Here. All right, let the minutes show that a quorum is present. The agenda is before us. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, great. The question is on the approval of the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, the ayes have it. The agenda has been approved. Next order of business is to review and approve the minutes from our June 11th meeting. Were there any changes or things that people wanted to talk about from those minutes? All right.
There was, so there, I've been emailing with the Public Education Commission about the section in which we voted for the contract change to the new performance framework. And I think there's something in there that said that we'll move to it in the next year or so. And I think they just were questioning whether that was something that we wanted to move to this year or whether we wanted to move to it as we renew our contract. So I told them that our contract is intended, like we wanted to, not our contract is 2028. So we wanted, our intent was to approve it to move to this year. But that we just didn't have a deadline because we didn't know what the PUC's deadline was for that. So they seem to think there wasn't any need for any adjustment on the minutes, but I did want there to be a record in this meeting to show that we did discuss and make sure that everybody was on the same page. That we did clarify that it was to start this year. And then we can look at the minutes just to make sure. So no edits the prior meeting, but just to reflect in this section that the intent was to move.
Yeah, I think the edit that should be made is that I noted on at the end that our next board meeting is going to take place in August. In July, and that should be changed. Yeah, the very.
Oh, okay.
We didn't have one in July.
Okay.
Good catch.
All right, anything else? All right, so with those two changes, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, the ayes have it. The minutes with those changes have been approved. Next up, we have the governance report.
I think everyone should have received an email by the PED on August 7th, this last week, with all the different board training sessions offered on Zoom and instructions with links on how to sign up for the Zoom board trainings, or if you choose to do the Canvas board trainings, then you have to register them. You don't get automatically registered from last year if you want to do Canvas. Okay.
And I emailed them and they emailed me back right away during this course.
Okay.
So it's very easy.
Aren't you on top of this?
Yeah,
I was at work, but they wrote me back immediately and had me signed up. I did not take the classes, but.
yeah, they have a little bit new system to sign up for the trainings now. So you need to look for that email, or I think there's probably links on the PED site too, but I didn't check that. I can forward the email to anybody who needs that. And the other thing I noted is that any new board members that we ever hire on are required to complete the new member Canvas course as opposed to taking board trainings on Zoom. So your husband did this on Canvas. You have to do it that way.
Yes.
There's no
That's good.
choice.
That's a moot point.
Yes. Yeah, you have to do it. Any new board members would have to do it.
Yeah.
And That's it. We all need 5 hours since we're existing board members.
Great.
It's not 8.
They reduced it, last legislative session. So,
Unless they increased it again.
No, I would have been looking at an outdated
yeah.
Okay.
law.
Didn't we have to do another one or something, like an extra one?
Yes, we got reduced by 1 for having a perfect audit, but if you have any findings, you have to add that hour back up. Okay, great. Thank you. Next order of business is the financial report.
So good morning, I'll provide the financial report this month. This will include our FY 26 year-end financial position, the fourth quarter cash report, and our first month of FY 27 financial activity. And all the consent items on the agenda as well. So first up, we have that June 2026 financials. Again, this represents the close of fiscal year FY 26. Overall, I'm pleased with where we ended the fiscal year. We finished with approximately 3.98 million in revenue and 3.6 million in expenditures. We also ended the year with significant remaining budget authority. I do want to emphasize that the majority of the funds was for restricted grants. Again, so we have to use those funds for designated purposes in compliance with our application. From an overall operational standpoint, we continue to monitor expenditures closely throughout the year end, but we ended with a strong financial position as of June 30th. The next report that I can kind of go over in detail is going to be the quarter 4 cash report. BD has requested that we now have this as an item on our agenda for discussion with the board. We complete these reports to BD every quarterly, I should say. So we've been doing this for years. It's been available on our website, but now we just want to have it as a discussion item in case you have any questions. So the report before you is as of June 30th. This will have approximately 1.99 million in reconciled cash. So of that amount, 847,000 was reconciled to the operational fund before accounting for our temporary interfund loans. These are for outstanding reimbursement requests. It's approximately 86,000. After those outstanding loans, our operational cash was 761,000. We also continue to have, again, significant cash balances in our restricted funds, particularly HB33 and SB9. Overall, the cash report confirms that we closed FY 26 with a healthy cash position to begin FY 27. It's approximately 150,000 more than budgeted for carryover for FY 27, so we are likely to see an increase this year to adjust the books to reflect current carryover. Now, as far as the FY 26 or FY 27, no, 26 bars. I just want to briefly address that these bars were submitted during June. There were 8 of them included in the financial report. They're for Title II, HB33, SB9, Title IV, IDEA B preschool, and IDEA B, and then 2 adjustments for the operational fund. Again, these were just primarily year-end budget maintenance bars to adjust the budget to align with actual revenue and anticipated expenditures. For example, we can go into the HB33 bar. It increased the budget by approximately $5,730. This is due in part to an increase in revenue received over what we had originally projected for revenue. And SB9 was an increased bar as well for approximately $2,790 for additional revenue. These were all budgeted towards county tax collection costs and fixed assets. The Title IV adjustment moved $250 from contracted services to software without changing the overall program budget. The preschool IDEA B adjustment moved $423.55 from budgeted supplies and materials to software, which is a coding adjustment. The IDEA B bar adjustment primarily just realigned the funding among salary and benefits for staff. And finally, the operational fund adjustments realigned approximately 105,000 of budget authority among salary, retirement, and other operating categories to better reflect actual and expected expenditures. Again, these were just maintenance adjustments. They did not represent any new discretionary spending outside of our approved budgets. Any questions on any of those bars? Again, they are not for approval, they're just.
During our finance committee meeting, you noted that we don't have to do a lot of those cleanup bars, but that you guys do them for budget purposes, and I think that's a really good way to do it, and I think it's really helpful to the board to see what you're doing when you do that, so I appreciate that.
Absolutely, because we just want to make sure we're projecting right for the next year as well, and make sure that we're in line and see where we're having increases happen throughout the year.
It's a really good practice. Yeah, thank you.
Next is just going to be the FY 27 financials, beginning with July 31st. We've recorded approximately 243,000 in revenue, 336,000 in actual expenditures. We also have approximately 3.2 million in encumbrances, excuse me, which represents the commitments against the budget, not money already spent. We are likely to see our encumbrances increase over the next few months as additional staff begin, and then new contracts are issued. So we ended July with approximately 1.92 million in the bank, so our overall cash position still remains healthy as we begin the new fiscal year. We're off to a great start, again, having more expenses in the first month of revenue is totally in line with what we anticipate to see in the beginning of the year, just because the majority of our funds are reimbursement based. So as those expenditures are incurred, we'll start to see the revenue more likely through October. We did have one bar for your approval this month. It is going to be bar number 01I. This is an increase bar for the transportation fund in the amount of $12,686. And this is based off of additional grant funding for an award memo we received. We will use it towards our transportation contractors. The increase is due to a change in the transportation funding formula. It is now includes mileage as a part of the calculation and equitably splits it across the state for those. So it was in our favor this year, so we are seeing a significant increase. Next piece is going to be the FY 27 contracts. There are several contracts included in the for board approval today. These include ACES for IT and data analysis, Andrea Oberman for diagnostic services, charter school nursing services, Noel Sandoval, and Learner's Chest. These contracts are to support ongoing operational and student support, technology, and educational program needs for the 26-27 school year. From the business office perspective, these contracts have already been reviewed for budget availability and are being brought forward for board approval in accordance with our procurement and contracting requirements. I do recommend that we approve these contracts as presented. There weren't really any major changes from previous contracts with them, other than the adjustment for additional services related to transitioning from software as it pertains to ACES.
And we did review the finance.
All right, just in closing, I do want to just summarize that FY 26 closed with a strong cash position and appropriate budget capacity. Our Q4 cash report confirms that with approximately 1.9 million in reconciled cash at year end. And we have now transitioned into the FY 27 school year, and we have established a significant amount of encumbrances at the beginning of the year, and our actual expenditures remain relatively low in comparison with the annual budget. We'll continue to monitor our spending and cash flow and grant reimbursements closely throughout the school year, just to stay in line with our budget. But overall, we're doing well. I'm happy to answer any questions anyone may have. I know it's a lot that I have today. But that's all I have for you.
Thank you for that. All right, great. So with no questions, the question is on the approval of our consent agenda, which includes the FAR and then the contracts. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, the ayes have it. The consent agenda items have been approved. All right, next order of business is to vote on the governing board officers for the FY 27 year.
I put this on the agenda just because I think we do need to assign people annually.
But thank you.
I just,
You don't get out of it.
I know, I don't know.
We have an election, we hope, like,
I mean, we can,
does anyone would like, would anyone like a new role?
we can.
So then the question is on the approval of keeping the roles that we currently have for another year. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right, the ayes have it. And Nick will just have to get to weigh in, because I know he was, you know, he wanted a new role. Okay, next up is the approval of governing board assurances for indicator 3C of 2024 performance framework for the 26-27 school year.
So we are moving, I think it's gonna be on the PEC agenda for, I don't know if she's gonna put it on for August. I think it was gonna be on for August, yes, to the new performance framework. And so part of that is an assurance that you all are annually reviewing the documents that we started reviewing last year, which actually works pretty well, the system, I think, turned out right. So I have updated, some of the indicators have changed, they've added indicators for the recently passed SB 37 and SB 29, which are the Math Instruction Act and the Science or the Literacy Instruction Act. I will continue to compile those resources. Right now, there's no requirements yet because they're all being implemented over the course of this year and then into next year, but I will continue to just update everybody on what those requirements are, math plan, etc. And so, but otherwise everything is very similar to last year. So I just put this on the agenda because initially they had a September 1st deadline. It's November 1st now, but it's on the agenda. You all can vote if you're comfortable with to the extent that we've reviewed these compliance indicators.
Great. So the question is on the approval of governing board assurances for indicator 3C. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, the ayes have it.
And I'm assuming there's no questions from you all for compliance. I think we'll beat that part. Great, cool.
All right, great. Next order of business is the Altura MOU with the Altura Schools Foundation grant funding.
So this fiscal year, we received a grant from Excellent Schools New Mexico to the foundation for $150,000. And there are specific items in there that are going to be, and Ashley, feel free to jump in to clarify anything, that are going to warrant transfer of funds from the school to, or from the foundation to the school in the form of a grant. And so the approval is for this MOU that then we'll put to the foundation that basically explains the purpose of the cash grant, because it is going to be restricted in certain ways to funding a couple of different projects, including hiring an individual to support the work of the facilities in the school and growth over time, and then additional stipends for both Lisa and I to support the additional work that comes with that. So those are outlined both in the grant agreement and in this MOU. And so both entities need to approve this MOU. And I'm happy we can make adjustments and I think everything is pretty much, and then it just terminates at the end of this fiscal year unless a new MOU is put in place for the.
It's wonderful.
Anything.
We covered it all. Again, we will only be using the funds towards what is laid out in this report. We are very helpful. And we can provide updates as far as where they're at in the budget. If anything.
Any questions on this? So the question is on the approval of the MOU with the foundation and grant funding. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, the ayes have it. The MOU has been approved. Okay, so now we are going to enter into a closed session.